I really believe in, and this is something that I really want to share with you guys, because I went to school as you guys came here, and a lot of people actually go to school and they invest all this time and money or whatever you want to invest in the school. And then you just walk out of the school, and all this dream, if you have any, it just disappear after you kind of get out of the school. In my way, actually, in my experience, it was all the opposite. I mean, I had a lot of time myself to practice, and I put a lot of time when I was at the school, but when I get out of it, I say, now is the time for me to make my own school. I believe a lot of who's learning more than who's teaching. And this is very important, because we have, 30 people in the class, maybe 10 people are getting really the point of what the professor is trying to tell you. And maybe 20, they are not interested. And they don't, you learn a lot even from things that you don't want to do. It's good to hear a professor that you don't want to follow too. It's a good thing, because you're the one that is learning what you want to do or not. That's very important. The professor doesn't mean that you have to do whatever the professor is telling you to do at this moment. Okay, I do it and whatever it is, but after you finish school, then you're on your own. You have to learn what you want to do and what you don't want to do, even from this, situation. So that's what I did. I went, after the school finished and the whole thing, I just have to do this on my own. Start, practicing myself and getting as much information as possible, reading and doing a lot of homework to be able to, when these circumstances, like the Lincoln Center, present me the opportunity and commission me to write a piece for the big band. That was for me quite an experience, because I actually did this big band piece in a month, all by handwritten. And I kind of became a crazy guy in the living room of my house with a piano and a big table with all these pages running around. And that's what I did for a whole month. And it took me, I learned through this experience that I had to actually get into writing the music on the computer, so I can paste and do things like that. It's easier and more effective, So, I mean, this is a lot of things to talk, but this is just one thing that I want to mention. It's not only because sometimes people say, well, I didn't learn that in school, so why would you do, that kind of thing. And it's not about what the teacher gives you, it's what you really want to learn. What you're really looking for here is the dream that you had at home before to come here to this school. It was to become, a musician or a music business, representative or whatever you want to call it. That's what is going to keep you all the way through your real career. This is not your career. This is a preparation for you. This is, 10 years from now, who knows what's going to happen. It depends really on your will, on what you have inside.
That's obviously great advice. Tell me about, when did you come to this country?
I came 8 years ago.
8 years. Yeah. So tell us about music education in Cuba. Would you say it was everybody had access to a music education?
Yeah, well, whoever got approved to go into the school, yes.
It was a music school, art school?
Yes, it was a music school. Yes.
I see. So you had to audition for it?
Exactly.
I see. And then it was all music all the time, or?
Oh no, it was a half and half. Like you say, in the morning we have just the normal class, like math and science and stuff like that. And then in the afternoon, we have music and stuff like that.
And then you say you lived a lot of you must have been, how old when you left Cuba?
I was...
your 20s?
I was 25. I'm 33 now.
Right. So what caused you to come?
A lot of different reasons, and the first reason is the same reason that I was explaining to you guys now. I wanted to develop myself as a musician. And the only way I could do that, it was playing with the people that I really admire. I have this contact directly with them. You know, it's a different thing to listen to Andrew Hill's or Steve Coleman music from a tape than sharing this experience with him. It actually becomes a different person to you somehow. And that's what I wanted to do. You know, that was my focus, to develop myself as a musician as much as I can.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I want to see myself in the beach relaxing and
for a week maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I'm working in a lot of things. You know, I guess in the same position, but with gray hair.
Gray hair. So what do you teach as well?
Yeah, I teach.
So when you teach, what are you trying to? Do you have a philosophy to your teaching? You're trying to convey to your students?
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy is basically I try to tell them that they're the ones that have to do what they wanted to do. I mean, I'm just kind of a tool for them, an advisor, and I can run, you know, things a certain way for them. But they are the ones that have to do the homework. I can do nothing for them, really. I'm just giving them the information. And I try to actually give them the approach of music is not only the patterns and the scales and the technical things that you actually learn itself in most of the school. You have to actually point yourself all the time of what is the optimum situation that you want to be in and rehearse and practice that way too.
That's the way you do it. You define where you want to go, and then you figure out a way to get there.
Yeah. You know, I teach them, you know, like the rhythms. I say, you know, specific rhythms and stuff. But I say, now you know the rhythm already. Now you have to give me more. You have to improvise with it. You have to really mean. You have to really mean what you're trying to say with this rhythm. It's not only to play the rhythm. I know the rhythm. I know the rhythm. I know the rhythm. No, it's not about that. It's do as much as you can and varieties of texture, sounds, and colors, and etc., with that rhythm. So that rhythm is going to help you to even develop into something else. You know, it's this kind of imagination where I'm trying to get them involved too. Because otherwise they just become, for me, just a regular musician that just playing whatever they learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just learning and imitating
right.
what they're listening to it all the time.
So they have to find their own voice.
Yeah, basically that's the whole point.
That's the hardest challenge. How does somebody do that? How do you give them?
You expose them all the time to it until they start hating you or they start loving you. You know, but you have to put them in that situation where you say, okay, now let's just focus in this rhythm. I want you to develop this rhythm in so many different ways that I want to somehow to be listening to that rhythm, not even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you have to play the music. It's the same way, you know, we're talking now. I'm not thinking in the words that I'm using to communicate with you.
Right.
I'm completely improvising what you're saying, the same as well you're doing with me. And this is the same thing in music. We have to interact. As a musician, we interact a lot. And all these things, I try to relate it with life and nature and stuff like that, so we can get, you know, as much sources as possible to integrate in your own playing as a musician. You know?
Where do you